Kidderminster Harriers fans podcast episode 28 available on Spotify as well. Yesterday saw Adam Murray tinker with the squad to the max as Morgan Smith ended up in goal to make sure Telford got their third. None of us were there to see it, but judging by reaction, it has to go down as a terrible OG on Murray's part. Is it square pegs for round holes? Did a striker actually score a goal? And what does horses for courses actually mean? Tonight, we've all been past fit, so I'm joined by FA Vars hero Dan. Thank you, Dan. Sunday morning nine-a-side stalwart Nick. Thank you, Nick. And the man who hates the FA Cup. It's John Smith. First question then to John. You upset a few people, John, didn't you? With your nonchalant views on the FA Cup, borderline hatred, if I'm honest. Why do you hate the FA Cup, John?
I had a feeling this question was going to come up first. I don't hate the FA Cup. I love the magic, the majesty, the pomp and circumstance of the FA Cup that we've had for years. I love the memories that we've had from our fixtures in the FA Cup. It's not what it was. The competition is not what it was. Let's face it. I think with replays, third round and beyond being drawn off the table, and the impact that's had. I don't know, for me, and moving kickoff time to the final, all these kind of things. You know, I remember sat in front of the TV watching team buses leave the hotels and head to Wembley. And now, what is it? It's 10 minutes of build-up with 8 of those being adverts, and it's played on the same day as Premier League fixtures. I don't know.
So basically, you hate it, yeah. I've got it, John. Thank you so much for letting us know that. So the reaction on socials yesterday, right? Let's look at that. Turned sour for Murray. Nick, how do you see it? You probably didn't see what the fans were saying, so obviously you couldn't see it. But do you get where they're coming from? For example, here's a great example from Dougie, who sent me a message actually, like I'm in charge of the team. He says, after being there today, I think it hasn't. If he hasn't already, Murray will be looking over his shoulder. That was not good today. At best, disjointed, and Dibble needs a good old-fashioned bollocking for his behaviour after he was sent off. A fan in the seated area in front of me shouted something. I didn't catch what it was at first, but in its tone, it didn't seem to be angry or agitating, and confirmed by a student that all that was shouted was unlucky dibs. Even taking into account his frustrations of being sent off, he should not have responded the way he did. And in fairness to him, he did not swear, but it was an over-the-top reaction to a fairly mundane shout-out. Back to the performance, it bordered on them not playing for the manager. I hope I'm wrong, but looks like the road is going down, unfortunately. That's from Dougie. When you read that, Nick, when you I mean, I get the frustration sense just reading that out. Thoughts, please.
Couple of things. So I guess social media being the big one. So the reason I wasn't at the game yesterday wasn't because I hadn't planned to go to the game yesterday, but I'm not really on social media except for Instagram, and therefore missed all of the communication around the 10 o'clock deadline for the tickets. So when I was sat in Gil's Cafe in Wolverley, shout out to Gil, top cafe, top guy. He's not sponsoring the podcast.
He's not that great then.
Yeah, he is a genuinely top guy. Shout out to him. We went to book tickets, me and my daughter, and found out we couldn't. So I called up the club shop and just said, "Look, it's me and my 7-year-old girl. Can we book tickets?" They said no. So that's the reason I wasn't at the game. In terms of the social media stuff, I think, look, social media gives everyone a voice. That's great. That's kind of what we're doing tonight, I guess, in a different form. Look, people will be frustrated because we've lost a cup game and gone out at the earliest stage for a number of years to a local rival. And we've conceded 3 goals. It's never good. I think at the moment there is this view that I don't think the fans really know what we are yet. There's a lot of indifferent performances. Sometimes where we've been we've gone and got 2 results on the road against Curzon and Kings Lynn that everyone's kind of, including Murray, really, really happy and really impressed with. But I think if you look at our side, I think there's I think there's probably more questions than answers at the minute, just generally. Now, I've got some stats, as you would expect, Wes, that we can very quickly talk through later on, I'm sure, in the podcast. But look, sometimes our emotions get in the way of sometimes the cold, hard stats, and I'm sure we'll cover that. But look, I get it. I get why the fans will be frustrated. We had a really good side last season that entertained. I
Yeah.
haven't been overly entertained this season. So for me, in that scenario, I need results and I want results. So I sort of do get where the fans may be. However, 8 league games in, 9 total games in. Let's just let's calm down. Let's give it some more time. If we'd have beaten Macclesfield the other day like we should have,
Yeah.
I just think it's one of those classic scenarios where it makes the result against Macclesfield just look worse in the end. And yeah, that's kind of my thoughts really, Wes.
Murray, another interview where he's blaming the referee.
Mhm.
That's getting a bit tedious now, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? Or am I the only one who thinks that? Because I'm not. Because going down on X, Matt, Matt, happy to judge Murray in the next month. Now certain players are back, but there ain't half some concerns. A load of dog poop. That's Craig Murphy saying not good enough in any shape or form. This is not a fighting, passionate Harriers team for me. Hoping Murray can get to grips with it soon. Andy Hunt, the graphics guy, says no dibble for a league game as well. Dan, we'll talk about that in a second. Very poor result against local rivals. Stewie says we want Phil Brown back from a small select section of fans. That says it all right. As Phil Brown won yesterday 1-0. AJ Matthews seeing AMS in goal and then go up front again summed up the whole match. I think it did. The list just goes on and on and on. There was a great one. There was a great one where someone had said, "Oh, is that it?" Yeah. The Mandem, whoever that is, he just finishes his tweet. Tactics are boring. We route one to the wings and then across to nobody. Murray has killed an exciting title contending team. Now, um, can you argue against that? Can you argue? Can you, John? Can you argue against that or not?
Yes, I think I can.
Oh,
There's a lot of people that are calling for Murray to go already, which I
Really?
find.
Is that actually the
that's an
rhetoric
actual
online?
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
What we're
There's
seeing, yeah.
there's more than a few
Wow.
comments with people saying Murray should go. I've spoken to people as well that think that it hasn't worked, the appointment. I think, okay, let's put the FA Cup to one side, as you know I love to do. We've won 3 out of the last 4, and it should be 4 if the referee didn't have Bernard's watch. You know, we
Oh,
we we really we're really overreacting to a really poor result, and from what I hear, a poor performance. Have the performances in those 4 games been stellar? Absolutely not. But what I will say is, like, Kings Lynn, I was thoroughly entertained, and okay, it wasn't free flowing attacking passing football, but it was an expertly managed game.
and a game where
Um,
we have shown fight from the sounds of it. So it's like,
yeah,
when people are saying they're not fighting for the badge or whatever it was that Wes sort of alluded to earlier, like, you can watch one game and have a view of that game, and based on what you've seen, maybe not playing for the shirt in that game. But we've all probably over this course of this season seen games where they have dug in and they have it does feel like a battle at the minute to get any kind of result, though. Nothing sort of just happening. I was looking through last season's results as part of this stat stuff that I do. And I think in the second game we just blew Radcliffe away 3-0. I remember being at the game in the sunshine, we're just gliding. It was like we look the business. Now you're not going to play like that every week. I remember the Chorley game away last season. First 45 minutes we blew them. It should have been 3-0 at half time. We played them off the pitch. I haven't seen any moments. Apparently the filed first 20-25 minutes was this way. So I have to pardon me on that one. But I personally am yet to see that moment where I go, oh yeah, we look aside
I thought
consistently.
Scarborough we absolutely dominated. We looked a far superior team.
I,
What I
I,
would say is
okay.
I get what you're saying about last season, but the key there is last season, and Radcliffe
Agreed.
were one of the poorest sides that I've seen at National League North. They've got better. Everybody is better this season. This is not the National League North that Phil Brown managed in last season. Well, that he manages in again. This is not the same league. Every single team is better, including those teams that have come up, which we would normally think maybe would be, fodder, for want of a better phrase. 2 of the top 3 scorers come from newly promoted teams. We're in the toughest National League North that we've been in because everybody has stepped it up and everybody is a level above.
I think it depends what when you say that. I'm not disagreeing because I haven't got the level of depth or detail to do the full analysis on it. But if you look at years gone by in the National League North, I guess if our expectations are winning the league, then I think I don't think it's harder than last season or seasons gone by. If you look at this division historically, it's always had at least one really big club in it, or a club that have money. If you look at last season, Brackley's squad was phenomenal, albeit a part-time squad. Scunthorpe are a humongous club at the level last season. I think if you go back seasons before that, the likes of Stockport County obviously filed when they were spending big. I think the Houghton money has enabled them to now respend.
Yep.
But actually, pre-season, before they sold Houghton, they didn't really have the levels of investment that they've historically had. So you throw them into the mix, you throw Salford into the mix. That there have been big clubs at the York City at this level.
They
Are
have.
York at
I
this
don't
level?
want to certainly don't want to turn this into a big debate, but I
Do
think
it, do it, do it.
whilst I completely agree, there's been big clubs. I think historically, when we've been in this league, we've had 4 or 5, maybe even 6 or 7
Yeah,
teams that you could go.
yeah,
Do you know what? We're going to go there and get a result, or they're gonna come to us and we're going to get a result because they are a level below us. And I don't think that's the case this year. I think you look at that league and you go, okay, well, our first 3 games, for example, Worksop, we should go there and that be easy. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Oxford coming to us with, an unbelievable forward line. Every single team is better. So yes, we haven't got that big fish in a small pond, but the other fish have gotten fatter.
The
And
average is probably the average is probably or potentially higher. But again, if you throw it back to last season, look at the teams that we lost to that you would have expected us to have beaten. So
yeah,
to raise the point around the average, we lost to Marine, we lost to Rushall, we lost to
Warrington.
Warrington,
Yeah.
we drew with Oxford City. So I get it, but I do also think there's always banana skins at this level. And I totally agree on the strikers. I mean, one of them is obviously one of my favourite players in terms of who I've identified at this level, and who I'd love us to have gone after and attained. But I think to say that it's a harder league, again, I think let's see kind of how it goes over the season as to see whether that is the case, because I think if you do see Scarborough stick the course and are in the top
Mm.
seven, if you see a Marine or a Merthyr or one of these other teams come and be in that top seven, top eight, then yeah, absolutely. Look
Although I
at
Can
was
we
sorry,
can
Nick.
we let Dan
sorry,
have a
John.
go now?
Sorry,
Dan
Dan.
wants to have
Sorry,
a go.
sorry,
He's
Dan.
itching.
Sorry.
sorry,
He's
Dan.
Can I
ready to
just
go.
can I tag in on that? Yeah. So like I was listening to the game on Hereford and Worcester yesterday, so I wasn't there, so I can't comment specifically on the performance. Um, but we sounded like we were playing good football in that first half, which surprises me at the level of negativity that I've sort of seen on social media. The problem for me that I'm hearing week in, week out is we're not scoring goals. Simple. And if you look at, the first half yesterday, we've had sort of 3 or 4 really good chances. We put 2 of those away. I know there's kind of the Willoughby goal at the beginning, 2 minutes in. There's sort of wasn't he offside? But if we're 2-0 up, 3-0 up, it's a different game. And I think ultimately, I agree with what John is saying that I do believe that this league is harder this season. I feel like when you look at the spread of results up to this point, there's been a lot of surprises in there of teams that we expected to do poorly that have done much better. But I think that ultimately we're a strong side. I think we can play football. I think the issue we've got is we're not converting our chances. And I think if we do start scoring goals, I think you start to see, people sort of saying they're enjoying the football more, they're enjoying the positivity. It's all starting to come together. We just need to click going forward, in my opinion, and I think that's where I'm feeling the frustration.
Right. Okay. It goes back to what I said last week, which you all poo-pooed. If we had scored 2 goals in every game, we'd be top of the league by 2 points. But anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep going because your mum would have been. What was it you said, Johnson, about your dad having balls and being your? I don't know. Anyway, we didn't talk about it. Dan, we're going back to you now. You jumped straight in
Yeah.
there, pal. Dibble sent off yesterday, Dan. Do you know what happened and what does this mean now?
So from what I heard, it was handball outside of the box,
Oh,
straight red card. I don't believe he contested it very much with the referee. I think when the card came out, he just sort of turned and walked off. I don't know what that chap who texted you is saying. I didn't hear anything about any incident as he left the pitch or anything like that. So I don't know what that's about. But the facts are, it's a massive blow,
mm.
especially going into the Buxton game. Whatever people say about Dibble, he's a huge character. You look at the 1-0 wins that we've had sort of going forward, he's made big saves at key moments, which have been as good as goals essentially for those games. And you can't just replace that presence overnight. It's a big deal. I've sort of been seeing on the socials, he's been taking a fair bit of criticism, certainly going back to last week's game with, his leaning into the dark arts a bit, slowing things down, winding up the opposition. But that's also part of the game management.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it might be one of those situations where we don't fully appreciate how important it is until he's not there. And I think bringing in a reserve keeper, I don't think we really quite know who that's going to be. It's going to
It'll be
change the
Bish,
whole
won't it?
I'm
dynamic.
available if you need
Yeah,
it.
I was going to say I'm going to put my hand up for that as well. But it's going to change the whole dynamic. And for going into a game against one of the bigger sides, Buxton, I think we're going to see a big difference, and we're going to see how important Dibble is to us going forward from there.
Surely it'll be Tom Palmer, right?
No, it'll be Josh Bishop.
Josh Bishop. Okay.
I
Yeah.
think so too.
Bish, I think
Is he ready?
is a very, very underrated keeper at the level. Probably not ready to take on a Christian Dibble mantle. Like I'm not saying he's quite at that level yet. But I saw him quite a few times at Swifts, and his awareness of the game, his positioning, command of the box, his communication, and some of the saves he made were fantastic. So I'm looking forward to him having a chance to prove himself as a really, really good backup keeper for us. And I hope that that's the case, that he gets put in. It might be Palmer, but I would be surprised if Bishop didn't come in.
I
Well,
also
you've
be surprised if we got an
absolutely-
emergency though. Sorry, Wes.
Yeah. No, I was going to say you've absolutely ruined my next question, which was, will it be scissor, paper, stones between Nick and Dan for the number one shirt on Saturday?
I would like to formally put my availability forward now to Adam Murray because we know he watches the podcast. So Adam,
Obviously.
if you're really sure, I'm happy to step in.
Evening, Gaff. Evening, Gaffer. What about you, Nick? You not going to fight for it, or what? What's happening there?
I mean, look, I don't get desperate. I don't pitch for these kind of things. Adam's seen the stature, he's seen the size, he's seen the scale. If he wants a piece, then just needs to get on the phone.
That's all he's got
but I've
to
already
do.
got the shirt.
All he's oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Oh no, who's joining us now? Who is this? Oh, who's Jim 19?
Not
Who
sure
could
who
Jim 19
is.
be? Oh,
Could it be Jim Kellerman?
what?
Hello.
Here he is. Hello, Jim Kellerman. How are you, my friend?
Jim.
Good, mate.
Wow.
Are you?
Hello, mate.
Hello,
Surprise.
Well, thank you.
Are you
Jim.
recording? Sorry.
Yeah, we're recording.
Yeah.
Of course we are. Of course we are. That's what we do. Jim, you crack it. You sort yourself out, but not in that way. We'll come to you in a second. It's like, okay, Jim, just look beautiful there.
Sounds
That'd be lovely. Thanks. Yesterday, no show became the show with a great header. So I'm told, one game, one goal. How about that, Willoughby? Surely it has to start on Saturday, John. What do you think?
2 games, to be fair. But yeah, I hear that he had 10, 15 minutes yesterday and really impressed. Looked like he really put himself about and got in the right areas, which is what I saw from his brief cameo at Workstop as well. Whether he starts or not, I think he needs some game time. I'd love to see him have half an hour if things are going in our favour, especially see what he can do with the pressure off potentially. So excited to see more of him. The fact that he's had a total of 20 minutes on the pitch and scored one goal already is
love it.
exciting.
I love that.
Exciting.
That's like positivity, man. That is really positive. Who set him up? Do you know, for the goal? Do you know who crossed it in?
I don't, unfortunately, and this is what I suppose one of the problems when we can't get to the game because teams decide in their infinite wisdom to take tickets off sale 5 hours before kickoff. I don't know who set him up, but I'm excited to see him being set up from all over the pitch against Buxton.
Absolutely. Right, hang on a minute. Oh, here we go. A reworked corner is headed home at the far post by Show Silver. Doesn't say who reworked the corner. Doesn't say that at all. Jim Kellerman. Hello, can you hear me? Jim Kellerman, Earth to Jim. Hello, Jim. He's off now. He's gone.
This has
Anyway.
almost turned into one of those, those like Tinder stories, like the Tinder swindler, where he's come online.
Is that what he
Where's this like, come on, please talk to me. In a minute, Jim's going to be like, in a minute, Jim's going to be like, my broadband's not working. You need to send me £100. Like,
I'll pay for the bill. Last time I saw Jim was in Stamford. Hale's Own were taking on Stamford. Ended 1-1. Jim came on. Jim was amazing. He came on for half an hour. You literally nearly flattened someone after about 30 seconds. I was like, yes, Rolls Royce, get in there, son. So how's it going, Jim, before we start? How's it going?
It's going all right, mate. Played probably every game off the bench, like 15, 20 minutes, give or take.
Yeah.
And then started yesterday, played 60 minutes, which was a positive for me.
Nice.
Little bit of work needed to do just to get used to being back out on the pitch,
Of course.
like in a starting situation. But yeah, feel good today, which is positive.
Well,
do you own a pair of goalkeeping gloves, Jim?
No, mate.
Because
I would. Do you know
Christian
what?
was sent off on the weekend.
I know I've seen. But I've been doing some coaching with the college lads at Kiddie,
Yeah.
and we've got one goalie in our group, and I've got about 22 outfield players. So trying to set up a game with one goalkeeper is not great. So I've been going in goal for one of the teams for a few of the games, and the other day someone's just absolutely rifled one at me from about 2 yards away, straight in the gonads, mate. And that's me done now in goal.
No
Absolutely,
more
I'm done.
kids. No more kids.
No more
Thank you very
kids. Yeah, I'm resigning.
Jim, I know John won't say this out loud, but he's actually thinking about how is Jamie Willits. So, how is Jamie Willits?
I believe he's become affectionately known to the fans as Big Willie, which I think might be an undeserved nickname. But Jim, is he, now be honest, is he the most boring man you ever played with?
No, I've played with some boring geezers, definitely. No, he's all right. He's Jay's proper like by the book. He's a good leader, good captain and stuff like that. And I think when you are that person, you do probably have to come across as boring and stuff like that. But get a few beers in him, mate, and he's lively as anyone.
Yeah, I've got some experience of that. Yeah, obviously you've got the replay on Tuesday night. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, good. We should get the job done hopefully Tuesday night. So I mean Saturday they had 10 men from about the 20th minute, and then Jamie actually got sent off for the last 15 to even it off. So it was 10v10, but they defended really well, and I think it's always the FA Cup's in there. So they've got that to hold on to, and then of course they were defending for their lives throughout the game. So um, hopefully we'll get across the line. And to be honest with you, it's nice to be in the hat anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like we're going to see.
No,
Who
we
we're going
don't
to get
know
on
what you
Monday.
mean, Jim. We don't know
So
what
yeah,
you mean.
rub it in.
Mate.
Sorry, that's too soon, isn't it?
I'm not bothered about
but
the
yeah.
FA Cup anyway. I want to get back to the league, as everyone will tell you.
Yeah, we know. John hates the FA Cup. Jimmy, absolute hatred for that cup. But Jim sent me a text actually earlier today, and he said, any chance I'd come on and talk about the under-18s game on Tuesday night? And I was like, absolutely. But then you try to get someone else on, who will try and get on to do his own podcast. So yeah, tell us about what you've been doing with the under-18s, Jim.
Yeah, so this is obviously you all know about the academy, you know about the college setup as well. The under-18s have got their FA Youth Cup game on Tuesday, so it would be good for them to get as much of a crowd as possible. So I'm trying to promote it a little bit like that. Obviously, it's good for the club getting a bit of money ticket sales wise, and I mean it's only £3 a ticket. But yeah, just trying to encourage people to come down. If they're not doing anything on Tuesday, I played in FA Youth Cup games myself, and I think the first one I played was at Molineux with 50 fans, which were a family of, like the lads. And then the next one was Arsenal, and that was 3,000. Now, obviously, I'm not saying there's going to be 3,000
Yes.
people at Agborough, but it makes a big difference for a young lad to have that feeling. So, if anyone wants to come down, support the club, support the boys, then just putting it out there that's going on Tuesday night.
So Harriers under 18s versus Hereford. Oh, it's a derby
Derby.
battle. Oh, rival. Will you be going, John? Surely.
I was actually going to go. I was actually going to go to the Grove on Tuesday and watch Jim and Jamie and the rest of the lads in the FA Cup replay. But I might actually be tempted to go and show some support to the under 18s instead. Let's see. Let's say it depends on the weather.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think it'd be fantastic to see as many people here as possible. I think it's great that the club is giving the support for the use of Agborough to the under 18s team, to the women's team, where they could, if they're playing at Droitwich, hopefully they'll get some games at Agborough as well. They won 1-0 today, by the way, beat Stourbridge women at
the girls
at the War Memorial. I was there and got absolutely soaked, but yeah, really good battling performance. So hopefully we'll get as many people there on Tuesday night as possible. I'll spread the word. We can put something in the hotline as well, Wes, and
of course
get people there to support the next Christian Dibble and the next well, I was going to say the next Jason Adigan, but I know he's been a controversial figure, so I won't mention that.
What have I missed? We'll come to you later.
Nothing massive. He just divides opinion. I think a lot of people see a lot of potential with Jason Adigan, and then a lot of people think that he's not up to scratch. I'm the former. I think he's got a lot to offer, and I really hope he realizes it soon. Realizes that potential soon. So yeah, hopefully the fans will stay off his back and show him some support going forward.
Just give us something, anything. Just give us something, like a nice little flick into a goal, that kind of thing, whatever. Jim, are you working for the Harriers then for the under 18s? What's going on there? Are you just mentoring, or what are you doing?
Yeah, no, I was. I mean, it started as a bit of get into your coaching, kind of voluntary stuff. They've got a lot of kids on the college scheme, so it's split into 4 phases, ranging from about 17 to 20, the age groups. And then some of the good ones go up into the first team eventually, and then whoever doesn't has got their college degree. They've been exposed to football in a professional environment and things like that. So yes, I'm grateful that Brandon has given me that opportunity to kind of step into the coaching world. And it's good because there's some good coaches at the academy level, so good to learn off them. And I can still be around the place. You know what I mean? So I still see some of the boys and things like that. So yeah, it's great.
How are
enjoying
they?
it.
How are the lads? How are they feeling? Truthfully, how are they feeling?
They're okay. Like, look, I think it's so hard because we spoke about this when I was last on. We last season was such obviously a high point. We were rolling teams over, and then to have that disappointment at the end of the season, I think everyone's a bit panicky because it's a new squad. It's obviously a new manager and things like that. But I don't think we started great last year. Obviously, I wasn't here at the beginning of last season, but I think it was probably a similar sort of start. Not saying that now's even been a bad start. It's been okay, but it's not been anything outrageously good or outrageously bad. Do you know what I mean? So there's always time to get some momentum with it, and I think that's what the lads feel as well. It's patience.
I've got the
with it.
stats if you'd like them.
Yeah,
Go for
stats,
it.
please. We love stats.
That's man.
Well, so after 9 games last season, we'd scored 15, conceded 9, won 5, lost 3, so I assume drew the other. This season we've scored 11, so we're 4 goals worse off, which I guess is a fairly high percentage given how many games we've played.
Yeah.
We've only conceded 1 more, but obviously yesterday was 3 of those, so that kind of has weighted that up. We only lost 2 so far versus 3 last season, so that's an improvement. But I think the difference is we've drawn games this season. So we only actually have won 4 games, whereas we won 5 last season. So we scored less, conceded 1 more, lost 1 less game. But of course, if you look at league games, we're 2 points better off than we were this time last season under Phil. So I guess very, very much of a muchness, really. But I think optically the difference is the style of the play and the performances. Last season, like you say, there were games where we did roll teams over at times or had 45-minute spells where we were literally playing brilliant football. We've not had as many of those, I don't think. And I think that potentially is where there's that concern versus last season. And also just human beings being human beings. They're going to remember the last 15 games or 14 games, whatever it was, where we barely lost a game. We were scoring goals for fun. So I think there's a stats piece here, which is we actually are better off in the league than we were last season. After 9 games, including the cup game, we're there or thereabouts. There were some slight differences, but it's just what the eye sees sometimes more than what the reality is. And I think that's maybe where some fans are either struggling with it or frustrated with it. And look, I get it. You know, I want to be entertained. I've said this every week. I want to be entertained as a supporter. But I'm willing to give a lot longer to realise my actual kind of view on where I'm at with Team Murray and all that jazz.
Right, I'm going to jump in here because we've got we've got 6 minutes left. And the reason last season the start abruptly came to stop us winning every game was because Amari got knocked out cold and he didn't play for 28 games or 28 days. Sorry, that had a massive effect on the team. So let's talk about any other business. Dan, you've not said a lot tonight. I feel that's my fault, but Jim came up, he rolled in like he
Sorry,
does.
Dan.
Right. I think Jim is a lot more entertaining than I am on here. So good to see you, Jim, by the way. I think we need to have a little bit of a mention about what happened at Hereford yesterday. It was really disappointing to see. I am pleased with the response from, firstly, the Hereford fans on social media. There's a lot of people have come out in support of I can't remember the name of the team that was playing. Was it the
Sporting
goalkeeper?
Sporting Calcer.
And was it the keeper
Raven
who,
Constable?
yeah. He was pre-season with us, wasn't he, if I remember
Yeah,
right?
he played a couple
Yeah,
with us.
and a
He
good-looking
played,
keeper. He looked okay.
Yeah, I think he had 45 against Droitwich. He did look okay.
Yeah, he played against Worcester as well. I think he did 45, or he had half an hour against Worcester. Anyway, I think a lot of the Hereford fans have come out in support of him and have sort of shown their disappointment at what happened. And also the Hereford manager as well has come out and made a statement basically saying that those two fans, the two fans in question, have now been a lifetime ban. There's just no need for it. There's no need for this. And I know that our country is becoming very polarized. I don't want to bring politics into it, but
I'll do that.
let's keep it out of football, guys. We're all there to enjoy the same thing, and it's just a horrible thing that's happened. So good on you, Hereford, for standing up to that.
Absolutely, thank you. John Smith, any other business? You're at the football today, obviously.
Yeah, big well done to Harriers women. Huge 3 points today. I think the Christian Dibble incident. I'd really love to hear from anyone who was there, who witnessed that. What I would say is, and Jim, you will have played with Christian, obviously. I think we're very, very lucky to have Christian Dibble at the club as a fan from the stands. I think we benefit from not only him being a fantastic goalkeeper, but also having a real awareness of game management. And I know I got about that, but I think he brings a lot more to the team than just his shot stopping. And of course, passions boil over sometimes, and I think we should, as you know, Nick said about what the eye sees and potentially short memories. Really, we should be getting behind the team as much as possible. And one mistake, one error, one moment of passions bubbling over doesn't negate all of the good that he's done in the past and also this season already. So I'm behind you, Christian. I'm pretty sure he doesn't listen to this, but you know, I'm behind Christian, and I hope that the fans can get behind him as well. I don't know what your take on him is, Jim. If you say now, oh, he's a prick, then it's going to make me look ridiculous. So please don't.
Do you not? He's brilliant, and he's definitely the best goalie in that league for sure.
There we
So
go.
yeah.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you. Jim, any other business from you, pal? You've got a minute. Have you got any other bits apart from the game happening Tuesday night that you came on for? It's funny because I looked at you then about 5 minutes ago. You just sat there just living the dream. You're like, yeah, whatever, whatever, boys. Yeah, just see having a chat and stuff. I loved it for
Making a
you.
cup of tea.
Yeah, I loved it,
No,
pal.
no new business for me. Yeah, I've got my first game actually Wednesday as a coach.
Oh,
So that'll be interesting. We've got a friendly. I'm not sure who it's against yet, but I know it's penciled in. Um, that's about it really. And
okay.
obviously, I've got a game tomorrow night myself. But yeah, coming on to just be like, come down and support the FAU, please.
Yeah, exactly. I'll put the picture up onto the Harry's hotline, so that'd be cool. Nick, you got any other business? You got 1 minute, my friend.
Couple of quick bits for me. I'm hoping that TSS and Mooney's return will get the same kind of almost like when we signed Warren and Morrison last season, it's like the last piece of the jigsaw.
Hmm.
I'm not saying they'll be the last piece of the jigsaw, but if they can add to the current jigsaw and hopefully get us some fluidity and potentially the Mooney Willoughby partnership can be resparked and rekindled. Hopefully, Kurt has still got the confidence uh, to get when he gets Mooney back to start firing. And then shout out to Wolverley Swans under eights, beat Halzo in town 4-0 yesterday, clean sheet. Well done, girls.
Boom, boom, smash it. Well done, everyone. Listen, I really enjoyed that actually. It's gonna as the season goes on and there's more divided opinions, it's going to get better and better. It's just how I'm feeling that way at the moment. Don't forget, like I said, you can listen, you can follow us on Spotify if you want to. I listened to like 5 episodes on the car on the way to the Harriers last time I was there. And that was fun. Enjoyed that, and we won 3-2 that game. Oh, maybe I should apologise for not being at the last couple of games because when I was there, we won every game, and now we've not won any games. So is that my fault? Possibly. I don't know. I don't know. So yeah. So anyway, guys. So that was that.
I told
Thank
you, Tinder swindler. He's wanting donations so he can get to all the games.
Absolutely.
Called this.
There you go. Thanks for that, Nick. Really appreciate that, Paul.
Pleasure.
Yeah. So if you can, don't forget if you can like this podcast, we'd love that. If you subscribe, that's even better. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're on 261 at the moment, which would be amazing. Jim, if you subscribe, of course you have. Thank you very much. Yeah. So you can do that if you can share as well. And we'll be here. We haven't got a game on Tuesday, have we? So we'll be here on Sunday night, unless Jim's contact Leon Clark comes through and we can have a little cheeky interview with the legend that is Leon Clark, hopefully next week or something. That'd be really cool. Thank you, Jim, for coming on. Appreciate that. Thank you, Dan. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Nick.
guys.
Thank you, John.
Thanks,
Catch you
guys.
guys
Cheers.
next week. See you guys. Thank you.